good morning to all. Welcome to Officers Adda 24/7. So this is the class of your most important questions. So if you're new on the Officers Adda 24/7, hit the subscribe button and download the Adda 24/7 application. Okay. So let's start today's session. I hope everyone just joined us now, right? So let's start. And before to start, I would like to say, you can enroll for the English medium batch for the case study, as well as a bilingual batch for the case study batch, because this is a very important thing. When we talk about, now your examination level is slightly up, and the most of the questions you may get from the case study type. Okay, and this actually clears your concept also, right? So the only thing that what you have to do, you have to use the code that is Y422, and with this code you are going to get the big discount over this batches. Okay, so one more thing, that our selection batch, that you can enroll for the selection batch also, where you will get the perfect classroom where you can understand everything. Okay, so ebooks, mock tests, live classes, as well as the recorded classes you will get in this selection batch. The again, you what you have to do, the same thing, that Y422, use this code and you will get the like maximum discount here. Okay, so let's start the session now with the very first question. Okay, so just try to understand what the question is, and after that I will just explain to you. Look, whenever we find the question, look, the every time just understand the one thing, that concept stays but the question changes. Okay, so you have to stick with your concept. The question is if a sum of the 1500 received from the Mr. X, that you can consider as a debtor, okay, has not been recorded in the books, so the profit would show an increase of the 1500, the profit would show a decrease of the 1500. Okay, or it will show the loss. Okay, so that you have to just find out what the option is correct. So tell me, what is that, what should be the correct answer of this? The correct answer, that should be the none of these, because whenever we talking about the like any sum that is received from the debtor, okay, so we are actually talking about here two things, that is the cash, or you can also consider the assets. Okay, so we are talking about the assets, and you can understand, like assets and the profit and loss both are the different things. When we talk about the profit and loss, you actually talk about in the nominal account category. Okay, profit and loss where we keep when we talk about the nominal account category, but here we are talking about the asset. Okay, so that means the correct answer, that neither profit nor loss, this should be the none of these. Okay, because this is a kind of the thing that you can just relate to the asset. Okay, so the correct answer, that should be the none of these, and these kind of the questions you may get in the examination, so you can understand how very important that you should just very strong with your concepts, right? Next question. Payment of the bill of exchange is received, and this is a very important question you have to understand. Just tell me that which option should be correct. In the bill of exchange, let me remind you, there are three parties: the one party whose name is a door, the another party whose name is a doi, and the another party that whose name is a pay, or endorsee you can also say, right? So this is the bill of exchange. So in the bill of exchange, there will always a three parties involved. Okay, so when we talk about the payment of the bill of exchange is received by which party, you will say by holder in due course of due date. Okay, what you say, that payment of the bill exchange is received by what? Received by whom? Then you will say that by holder in due course of due date. That should be the correct answer of this question. Okay, all right. By holder in due course of due date. That should be the correct answer. Which of the following items are shown in the income and expenditure account? The very important thing I would like to tell you, whenever you will find the profit and loss, you can understand this is all about the income and expenditure statement. Okay, when we talk about the balance sheet, you have to understand this is all about the assets and the liabilities. Okay, so these two things you always have to remind, right? So which of the following items are shown in the income and expenditure account? These are items are given, like only items of the capital nature. When we talk about the only items of the capital nature, you can understand this we actually just shown in the balance sheet. Okay, only items of the revenue nature, this is half correct. Only items of the revenue nature pertaining to the periods of the accounts relating to the current year. Okay, this should be the correct answer for this question. Okay, So whenever, this is a very important question. Look, when we talk about which of the following items are shown in the income and expense account, you can understand we can show the account, we can show the type of the like items, that is revenue, that is of the revenue nature, that is related to the current year. Okay, revenue nature that is related to the current year. So that we are just going to show into the income and expense account, right? So that should be the correct answer for this question. Next question. Mr. A draws a bill on Mr. B for 5,000 and Mr. A endorsed it to the Mr. C. Mr. C endorsing it to the Rahul. Okay, you can also say Mr. C endorsed it to the Rahul. The pay of the bill will be whom? Okay, what the answer there would be? The Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, or Rahul? The correct answer, that should be the Rahul. Okay. The correct answer, you can understand, the holder. The holder in the due course of the due date. Okay. So that should be the correct answer for this question. I hope it is understandable for everyone. Next. An entry of the 1560 has been debited to the debtor's personal account at 1650, 1650. It is an error of what? Okay. Look, the very important concept you always have to understand whenever we're talking about the errors of the trial balance. Okay, so in the error of the trial balance, you will understand there are multiple errors, like the error of the omission, where we are just going to forget to record the transaction either partially or completely. In the error of the commission, we actually talk about the, when we talking about the wrong amount, when we talking about the mistake in the totaling of the balances. Okay, as well as when we are just doing the mistake in the wrong amount. Okay, in the wrong account, in the wrong account. Now the, when we talk about the wrong account, the, when we talk about the wrong account, we actually talk about the wrong account in the error of the principal also. Okay, there is a minute difference between the error of the principal and the error of the commission, that you have to understand. Whenever by mistake we actually have to debit the one person account, but by mistake we debited the another person account, that is the error of the commission. Okay, but when we talk about like any mistake that we have done, like in the head of the company's account, like suppose that we having the mistake in the purchase account, we having the mistake in the sales account, we having the mistake in the cash account, we having in the mistake in the machinery account. Okay, so suppose that if I just say to you that you have to debit the machinery account, you have to debit the machinery account, but by mistake you actually debited the repair and maintenance account. Okay, so in this scenario you can understand the both accounts is related to the company's particular account. Okay, or company's particular head account, right? So machinery and repair both related to the company's account. And the very important feature of the error of the principal, this should always on the same side. Suppose that we have to debit the machinery account, but by mistake we debited the repair account. Okay, so this kind of the error is known as a error of the principal. But when we talk about we have to debit the Mr. A account, but by mistake we debited the Mr. B account, or we have to debit the Mr. A account, but by mistake we credited the Mr. A account. So this kind of the error is known as the error of the commission. Okay, so machinery account we have to debit, but by mistake we debited the repair account. We have to credit the your income account, but by mistake we just credited your interest account. Okay, whatever the interest you're receiving, like through or your investment. Okay, that's I'm just talking about. So that is about your error of the error of the principal. So error of the principal is all about when you treat the capital as a revenue or revenue as the capital, right? So that means when we talk about the, you actually going to violate the fundamental principle of the accounting. That means you have to just record the asset, but you by mistake you recorded the expenses. What I'm saying there, just try to understand what we understand by the error of the principle, because lot of the people get confused over this. That error of the principle, you can understand, that is all about that. Suppose that you have to record as the asset, but you recorded the expenses. Okay, and when we talk about you have to recorded the capital, but by mistake you actually recorded the revenue. Now what is the difference between that, and what is the similarity between that? Just also understand, When we prepare the trial balance, you can understand all the assets and all the your expenses we keep on the same side, that is on the debit side, while on the credit side we actually keep your capital, liabilities, revenue, all things. Okay, so that means you have to record the expense, but by mistake you recorded the expenses. You have to record the capital, by mistake you recorded the revenue. That means this is a case of the error of the principle. Okay, where you are actually violating the fundamental principle of the accounting. So in this question, the correct answer that should be your error of the commission, because an entry of the 1560 has been debited to debtor's personal account. Here we are talking about any other person. Okay, that is not related to the company's head account. So that's why it should be the commission account, right? I think this is now clear for everyone, and based on that you will definitely get the question in the examination. So just try to understand this. Okay, next. Fixed asset and the current assets are categorized as per the concept of what? You have to understand that is a question, that is the concept of the going concern. Whenever we're talking about the going concern concept of the company, you always have to understand that whenever we just want to see that the going concern, that means a company would also run like in the future, okay, as well. Like company just be able to meet its all the whatever the requirements in the future, whatever the liabilities company is having, that company will meet to all of that, and company will continue its operation in the next years also. Okay, so that is a going concern concept. So fixed asset and current asset, that is actually just explained as assets in the balance sheet. Okay, so that means this actually explains the financial position of the company, right? So when we talk about the balance sheet or the assets, that you can understand that actually explains the financial position of the company. So going concern concept is what explains that company is enough, that company is enough to meet its all liabilities in the future as well. That means company will continue its operation in the futures all also, right? So that is about the going concern concept. Next. Accounting standard 22 deals with what? When we talk about the accounting standard 22, this actually deals with the accounting for the taxes on the income. So accounting standard 22, that actually deals with the accounting for the taxes on the income. That should be the correct answer. Okay, so you just do not need to mug up all the accounting standards. If you just watch my session, so you just understood that I just made a story about the accounting standards. So from that you just understand, you just learn that. Okay, and in the in the accounting standard you will get the questions like the like accounting standard just like this question that deals with what. Okay, so you have to understand accounting for the taxes on the income, that is deals by the accounting standard 22, right? Next question. The concept of the conservatism when applied to the balance sheet results in what? When we talk about the concept of the conservatism, this is all about to realize your expenses, or you can also understand this is all about the realize of your liabilities, okay, as soon as possible. Okay, as soon as possible. So that you can also understand when there is no any this is not your possible outcome, there is no probability of getting that. So the concept of the conservatism is all about when you just talking about you should just realize that of your all liabilities and expenses as soon as possible. Okay, so this actually when we talk about when this rule is applied to the balance sheet, it actually just going to just explains the understatement of the asset as well as the overstatement of the liabilities. Okay, so this is a very important question that you should just write into your copy, that actually just about the understatement of assets and overstatement of liabilities. Okay, so then concept of the conservatism when applied to the balance sheet, it actually just it actually just understandable as the understatement of the asset and overstatement of the liability. So the correct answer that should be the first option. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone. Next question. An entry is incorrectly recorded, that means what kind of the error it is? You can understand incorrectly recorded. Suppose that you have to record the 1000, but by mistake you recorded the 200 only. Okay, you have to record the 2000 rupees, but by mistake you recorded the 20 rupees. So that means an error is incorrectly recorded. And now, because in the previous slide we actually understood that whenever we're talking about the transactions recorded in the wrong amount, that means this is considered as an error of the commission. Okay, so an entry that is incorrectly recorded, so you can understand this is a kind of the error of the commission, right? I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, so you can also add here one term that an entry is incorrectly recorded, like in the amount. Okay, I think there is some typing mistake, so you can also include here an entry is incorrectly recorded in the amount. Okay, so it is an error of what? So you will say it is an error of the commission. That is an error of the commission, wrong amount, wrong totaling, or the wrong account. Okay, an organization had deposited with the bank 30,000. Okay, but bank by mistake credited this amount to another account. A check issued by the firm for 20,000 has been dishonored by the bank. The balance as per the cash book is given. Okay, so cash book balance is given. Quickly just write here that is passbook, and just make the table like this, that is cash book and passbook. Okay, so the balance as per the cash book that is given the 40,000, just write here that is 40,000. Now just read the every condition here. Okay, so when we talk about an organization had deposited with the bank 30,000, that means organization will just going to record this transaction immediately. But the bank statement, because bank by mistake credited this amount to another account, that means in the bank statement this would reflect as a zero, and if it is reflecting as a zero, you can understand passbook balance is a lesser than the cash book, so this would be subtract from the 40,000. Now a check issued by the firm for the 20,000 has been dishonored. A check issued by the firm, that is by 20,000, has been dishonored by the bank. That means again this would reflect as a zero. Now for this, the passbook statement is a greater than the cash book, right? Now the balance as per the cash book is given. What is the balance as per the passbook? What would be the answer? 40 minus 30, that is 10. 10 plus 20, that is 30. That would be your answer for this question. Okay, so this question you may find in the examination in the 2 marks, so just try to understand the concept behind this, right? So that's all for this session. I hope you all just enjoyed this session, right? There is also one update that you can just enroll for the JIB 2022 complete e-kit you are getting. Okay, the only thing that what you have to do, either you have to apply the code Y422 or Y22S. Okay, like you have to see that which code is applicable for that, so you will get the maximum discount over this also, like in this book, like the AFB legal and regulatory aspects of the banking and the PPB. Okay, so you all are going to get the complete e-kit for your like Adda 24/7, and the features you will getting like in this, like whatever the chapters that is given, that is basically prepared as per the exam point of view, right? So this is a very important to understand. Like you can also just subscribe for the complete e-kit here, and you can also enroll for the JIB video courses that is available in the bilingual as well as in the English medium. The thing that you have to do, just apply the code Y422 here, right? You will get the discount over that. Another thing that you can enroll for the test packs, right? And because test packs is a very important when you are just going to wind up your preparation, right? What you have to do, you have to apply the code Y422S, and you will get the 17% discount over that. Just remember the code Y422S. With this you are going to get the discount, right? So thanks for everyone here. Thanks for watching me here. Like this video if you're liking our effort, liking our content. Okay, and share this video to your friends so that maximum number of our bankers can join us in this kind of the sessions. Okay, so thank you everyone for